hit the sales goal. You've got customers. The money's coming in. And yet it feels like you're working harder than, well, because you build a business. You built a well-paid job. And now it owns you. You're paying yourself $50,000 to $100,000 a year. And from the outside, it looks really good. It looks solid. It looks successful, respected. People are saying to you, oh, you look like you're doing really well. So from the outside, it looks really good. And yet on the inside, you cannot switch off. You can't take proper time away. A holiday is literally just you with your laptop and your phone working in another location while the kids and your partner enjoy the pool and the beach. And you couldn't possibly imagine stepping for any period of time without everything getting wobbly. This is the golden handcuffs paradox in your own business. A business that pays you just enough to keep you trapped, but not enough for you to start buying back your time, more importantly, your energy or your thinking space that allows you to be the leader. You are absolutely not stuck because your business is failing. You're stuck because the business is successful and needs you everywhere in order to be so. Welcome back to the Moxie Movement. It is another big week here for us. I have been coming into this year being really deliberate about the things that I've been avoiding. And because, when it's your own thing, it's really easy to avoid the bits you don't want to do. And finally, my team pinned me down and said, Sarah, you haven't had photos, videos, etc. done for 2 years. You need to get back into the rhythm. And so a couple of years back, I had a really good system. Kirsty, who does lots of my social media, would come around once a month. We would spend a couple of hours shooting photos, shooting little reels, so that there was always fresh stuff coming through. And the reason I did it like that was because I don't like doing it. I know, I'm in the wrong gig. But of course, my business journey has always been that we've had a product or a service that is not inherently me that we've had to sell. And so shooting photos and videos and creating content has been really easy because it's not focused on me. I'm uncomfortable with it being focused on me. I'm sure that you've had this experience too. And so I have to have some accountability measures in place because otherwise I won't do it. So previously that was Kirsty. I committed with some time and some money so that she would come and do this work with me once a month, and this way I couldn't avoid it. Since we've been location free, since we've been here in Thailand, I haven't done that. Finally found someone to do that with me, the lovely Brian and Scarlett, actually, my daughter, helping me do this. We've booked in a monthly session where we're going to do photos and videos so that my team can do their job. Because I've been the bottleneck. You might resonate with this one. I grew up not liking the way I looked. There was always something wrong with it that I needed to edit, that I needed to shift. And so photos and videos of me, even if the photographer and the videographer are very good at what they do, I'm going to look at the photos and the videos and find fault, not with them, but with something about myself. This accountability stops that underlying set of beliefs and thoughts that has existed for a very long time, growing up in the 80s and 90s. And instead of battling against it, I put an environmental piece, a system around it that allows me to just get it done. And that's been a game changer. It was recommended to me a long, long time ago. And it was working really, really well. And then I stopped doing it. You know those things. You stop doing things that were working well, and then you wonder why you ever stopped. Human nature, and put those systems back in place. Got that sorted. Actually, surprisingly, had a lot of fun doing it with Scarlett and Brian. He's a gem. He's also teaching Scarlett some things about shooting photos and videos, which she loves in her creative self. Ticking a number of my highest life priority boxes, getting my business stuff done, also spending some time with Scarlett and doing some things from a parenting point of view that is leveling up her education. So it's ticking all the boxes. Looking at what's going to be our next travel spot to have a little bit of time away this year. Working with clients over the last couple of weeks, really making sure they've got clarity and they can take powerful steps forward in 2026. Plus getting excited about our 2 in-person events, one happening here in Thailand in Koh Lanta and one happening in the Bay Islands at the Duke in November. We also have some guests on those that come along to those events, both from presenting, helping me out with the coaching space, and also from you can come along as a guest, even if you're not a client, see what it's like to be on the inside. In 2026, I really want to look at why this owner trap happens to really capable women. It's the number one thing I see with women that are used to carrying a big load everywhere. And somehow you turn the mirror back on yourself and think that because you're stuck in your business right now, you're doing something wrong, you're failing, you're not good enough, that we're not doing well. When the opposite is absolutely true. It's not because you're not capable. It's not because you're not smart enough or intelligent enough or clever enough to figure this out. It's because you're too good at doing all of those things, which seems nuts, right? So what happens when you're a really capable woman, you often build a business that needs you everywhere because you can do everything for it. You can fix everything really, really quickly. And so there's three key things that show up. The first one is you're the main sales generator. If you stop, you see income slow down or stop completely, that means the business is super dependent on you for the income to keep coming in, which means you and your business are inherently tied together, and we don't want that to happen. We want to make sure that sales are independent of you. The second thing that was probably showing up is that you're the default problem solver. Everybody is outsourcing their thinking to you. You might find this happens at home too, but it means that every decision, every issue, every quick question comes to you. That means that, hey Sarah, sounds almost as familiar as mum at home. You don't want your children or your partner outsourcing their thinking to you at home. It's the same thing in your business. You do not want your employees, your contractors, even your customers and clients outsourcing their thinking to you. Every time a decision needs to be made, every issue that anybody has inside your business or every quick question has to come to you, you know that you're the default problem solver. That means that you've got a lot of humans in your business that are not thinking for themselves, and that was never your intent. Your intention was that as you grew, you got more brains on this business and everybody was doing some thinking. And I think sometimes employees in particular forget that the reason that there's an exchange of value here, they come in, they do some thinking, they solve some problems for you, then you pay them a wage. Sometimes they forget that that's the case because they've gotten to this habit of just doing what they're told because you're always telling them what to do. And then the third one that we see a lot is that you've outgrown your original role. So most of us, when we start out in our business, we're independent, free-thinking women, and we build our business and we wear all the hats, we do all the roles. We get started and the business grows, but you don't let your role evolve with it. Doing everything behavior that is what got your business off the ground will keep you stuck as we go through these next parts of the business journey. And your role has to evolve out of the doer and into the leader in your business if you want it to get to a place where you can step away, the sales keep coming in, the team know exactly what to do, and for whatever reason, if you do step away, things keep going. You start to feel a bit guilty, and even shame starts to creep in a little bit because you're thinking, I should be really grateful. People would kill for a business that does this. Other people would really love this level of income, and I'm just moaning about it. And why am I not just coping better with all of the structure that I need to build? It feels worse because you know from the outside it looks good. You know from the outside you see people looking at you, signing contracts, bringing in sales, the team see the same thing, the clients are getting a great service, and you start to wonder why you're not enjoying this the way you thought you should. You're not getting the spaciousness or the ease you thought you would get from your business. You've been doing this for a while and you feel like it should have got easier by now. And so you go looking for all the fixes. You go looking for the things that people are saying will fix the problem. And the number one thing I think we think will fix it is if we just make more money. I will be less exhausted magically if there was just more money coming in. If I could just get more leads. If I could just bring in more leads, then I could convert more of them into sales, and therefore it will fix it. Money doesn't create relief. The only sort of money that would create relief would be $1 million dropped into your bank account with no work that needed to be done to create it. Every dollar that you earn comes from an exchange of value. The moment you bring in more leads, you do more marketing, you do more messaging. All of that requires more of you. You cannot sell things and then not deliver on them. For every dollar you bring in, it creates more work. And guess who's doing more of it? You, because you're still required everywhere in your business. You're still filling all the gaps. That money doesn't create relief. Structure does, because you can still earn good money and still be mentally overloaded, doing all the thinking all the time, brain on, never off, waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, thinking about the things you did or didn't do for people. You can feel emotionally drained because you're picking the wrong clients, the ones that don't lift you up, but the ones that suck your life out of you. Or you've brought employees and contractors in that do exactly that, and you're paying them to suck the life out of you. And so you feel mentally overloaded, emotionally drained, and permanently on in your business. Because making more sales without role clarity is just going to create more pressure for you. Growth in any business without systems ultimately leads to the exhaustion of the person that's answering all the questions. And if other people are seeing you have success when you haven't built leverage, you just know that that's exhaustion waiting to happen. And that's why you feel so freaking tired, even though your business looks successful from the outside. We want to shift you from being the person that is paid to do everything, being a paid doer, to being the actual owner of this business. You have to stop doing all the things, being busy, which worked when we started, 100%. Where you're at in your business now, though, that doesn't work. We have to get to a point where we figure out, if I wasn't allowed to do the work anymore, if I wasn't allowed to be the physical doer in my own business, what would actually break? And by checking in and looking at this, we can see where your business relies on you too heavily. Where is it letting you do the heavy lifting instead of structure and systems and leverage? To get from this place where the business will break if I stop doing the doing, you have to think about, what do I need to systemize first so I can delegate it to somebody else? If it can't be systemized and delegated, it needs to be redesigned. Because we always want to be thinking about what I do naturally and inherently without thinking about, somebody else does it. And that's not because you don't have a system or process to do it. It's just because you've done that thing so many times that you do it without thinking. We would say you are unconsciously confident, you're in your genius, you're in flow state. There's any number of ways you can describe it. And so you look at it and you go, oh, I just do it naturally, and so it can't be systemized. The absolute opposite is actually true. You've followed an inherent system so many times, it's become your genius, your flow. And all we have to do is build that out so that someone else can follow it, and eventually they'll become great at it too. That's how we get things from relying on you to being delegated to someone else and being done at 80% of what you need. And if we cannot get that detail around it, we can redesign it so that it can. We can tweak and adjust it so that someone else can do it in alignment with the ways it needs to be done. Not exactly the same as you, because they will never be you. Pretty darn close. So close that the business is still going to work and generate value for you and the other people. And if you don't start making these changes, staying where you're at because you're ambitious, because you see more possible for your business, it's going to guarantee that you get more exhausted and more overwhelmed. And that's, again, it's not because you're not capable, it's because you're so capable. The load that you can carry is higher than anyone else I know. Like, women, mothers in business, you are so phenomenally good at retaining everything for so many people. And over time, that's not sustainable. As a human brain and body, we're not built to carry all of that load. Staying as you are, where you are doing all the thinking and all the decision making for the entire business, means you're going to end up more tired, not less. This isn't about taking a business and blowing it up. It's not about burning it to the ground and starting again. It's really about changing how the business uses you, and it really wants to leverage you in the best possible way, because you're the highest level thinker in your business. It's just that your thinking's getting drained away by the physical low level doing. Let's do a quick little 3-question audit of the business. You know you're trapped as the owner. So let's figure out what things we need to fix. First up, what sales stop if I step away for 2 weeks? Either in the immediate or in the future. Remembering often sales are a lag metric. And so if you step away for 2 weeks, it could be sales stop immediately. It could also be income that stops or slows down 30, 60, 90 days later. What income stops if you step away for 2 weeks, either right now or sometime out in the future, and you can track it back to that period that you had off? Think sales in March and April when you had a big summer holiday off. Or think I went away for school camp and 3 months after that we saw a drop in sales. Watch out for those patterns as well. Secondly, you want to ask, what decisions only I currently make? Where are the things that I have to have the final say on? Because if I have to have the final say on, that means that it's coming through me. Where are the decisions that get stuck? I'm the only person that can decide when we're doing a next hire. I'm the only person that can decide when to change a supplier. What are the decisions that currently only you make? And you want to look at the things that if they're decisions making on a daily basis, they're probably going to be challenging. So you want to get rid of those really quickly. If you're making decisions on a daily basis over and over again, we want to make sure that there's a process, a system that allows someone else to make that decision. Once we get to quarterly or annual or just ad hoc decisions that don't come up very often, they're less of a problem. They're less of a risk in this owner trap model. But certainly if you're making decisions on a daily or a weekly basis that only you can make, that's going to be contributing to this trap. And then lastly, what am I doing weekly that someone else could be trained to handle? A really easy one to do this one, and kind of a fun way to do it, is get a post-it, stack of post-it notes, and every time you do something you think, could have had someone else do that, write the one task down and just create that stack of post-it notes so that you can come back to it later. We're not fixing anything yet. We're literally just finding, where am I holding the structure of my business together? Where is it overly dependent on me so that it's become a really expensive job rather than a really leveraged, flexible business? And what's really important about this is the more awareness you bring to where your business heavily relies on you, the more we create options. More awareness, more options. Noticing where your business leans heavily on you is going to create options for how you can solve the problem and where you can go next. This is about making sure that your business is earning you decent money without you feeling tired all the time. If your success in the business is feeling heavier instead of lighter, and you've been doing this for a little while, if the idea of going away on a holiday without your laptop and phone feels absolutely impossible instead of something you're really looking forward to, then you just really need to understand that your business is just overdue for a different kind of structure. This isn't about you being a failure. This isn't about you doing it wrong. It's just about really how the business is structured so that you can be really well paid and working the hours you want. If you're done being well paid and worn down, tired, exhausted, this is what we do inside the Done by 3 and the Moxie Business Advantage. This isn't about you having to effort more. This is about building different architecture. So if this hits for you, I think you want to listen again with a pen and paper, because you probably listened to this while you were driving to school or waiting for them to come out from their latest after-school activity. Just re-listen with a little pen and paper, answer those questions for your business, because you're ready to redesign your business. This isn't about just coping anymore. This is about building a business deliberately, slowly, that allows you to take those holidays, that allows when you feel tired that you can take a break and know that you're not going to pay for it with extra effort further down the track. I don't want you to dread coming back from a weekend away or a holiday with your kids because it really wasn't worth the time away to come back to the workload. I want you to come back, check in with your employees, check in with your team and go, they didn't actually need me. They're happy I'm back. and everything's run just fine without me. Because that's the experience the women in the Done by Three and the Moxie Business Advantage are having as they come back from summer holidays. They are re-entering a business slowly and gently because it's not leaning so heavily on them anymore. It runs, and they get to do the bits in the business that they love and enjoy, and the hard bits too. Over time, they're recognizing that the business isn't structurally leaning on them anymore. It has its own structure and foundations, which means you're not just coping day to day. You're not filling all the gaps with your body and your brain and your emotional well-being. The business actually has some of that structure now itself. Your business is successful. You're doing really well. Don't change everything all at once. Don't burn it to the ground. Just spot where the moments are that you're handcuffed to the business and start building the framework, building the structure that means that you can incrementally step out of it. This is a journey. We're not in a race. You're going to do it slowly, bit by bit, over time. And if you want the support to do that, let's chat. Head on over to my Instagram, Sarah Green Coach, and send me some DMs. Not in a creepy way, just in a, hey, can we chat about how I might redesign that? And let's figure out how your business can stop leaning on you so heavily so you can exhale and breathe a little easier in the coming weeks and months. And if that's not for you, until next time, stay Moxie. I'll see you on the next episode.